They say winning ain't everything. Well, we don't have them type conversations over here, man. Had that conversation with the losers. We trying to win at everything we do. Even in the loss, we don't see defeat. We see a lesson learned. Straight up. Look, I came into this world in 1978. The doc looked me in my face and knew I was something great. 45, 42 Prescott, that's where I'm from. Grew up in the slums around dope dealers and bums. As humble as I was, I adapted to my habitat. In my own lane though, far from where they crashing at. Dumb bar graduate, the game I'd have mastered it. Served in the Navy, look, y'all don't know the half of it. Pops passed in '01, moms passed last year. I know they up in heaven smiling down, crying mad tears, cause they son making it. No telling where I'm taking it. My city been cursed, but I feel that I'm breaking it. Coached at Wayne High in 15 in one state. Seen the fork in the road and went straight. I know what I'm worth, I'm OG King CURT. Brooklyn Nets gaming crew legend, let's work.
Hey, this is OG King CURT, your host of the OG2CENTS podcast. I want to thank each and every one of you who continue to tune in every Sunday. We truly appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share it. Also, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Helps us out a lot. Links are in the description for all available streaming platforms. Let's make sure we continue to stand up against any form of social injustice and racism. And this episode is brought to you by Zenni Blocks. Make sure to armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks virtual clear blue blockers. It's important to protect your eyes from the harmful blue light from your digital screens, so you'll have less eye strain, and that makes for better sleep and performance. Check them out at zenni.com/gaming or follow them at Zenni Gaming on Twitter and Instagram. This episode is episode number 54, How to Build an Empire. And if you see the hoodie that I'm rocking, this is the OG iBall Empire hoodie. Had to cop it when it first came out. I support anything that I like and I see it, I gotta grab it. So just it's already kind of giving you a clue who this is. Basically, ToXsiK has been in the community, pioneer in his own right. He's played in the 2K League for 3 years, played for the Cavs Legion, Grizz Gaming, and Magic Gaming. He's also a partner Twitch and Facebook gaming streamer, and he is the owner of iBall Empire. So without further ado, ToXsiK, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I finally get to get on the OG podcast, man. So I'm excited. I've been listening to some of them. You've been doing a great job. So I'm excited. I appreciate having me on.
I appreciate the kind words, and it's arguably because of the guest I have on. I want to say that's making the show is what it is, and definitely I'm glad to have you here to bless it, man. Just getting right into it. Give us the story on how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, it's a long road, long journey. I started playing video games at a young age, like most kids. Really got into like Halo and other shooter games to start at a young age, and fell in love with it. Used to play with my brother and friends around my neighborhood, and started getting into competitions, MLG competitions, back when that was first getting off the ground. And if you look at that now, I mean, that's one of the staples of esports, and becoming a professional gamer. Without them, that I don't think you would have some of the things that we have. So I was doing that, from the age about 14 to 15, 16, playing professional Halo, from Halo 2 to Halo 3, doing that for a long time, and eventually transitioned over to playing college basketball, and kind of got out of gaming for a couple of years. And I always kept in touch with a lot of my friends. I grew up playing Halo with guys like Ninja, guys that are been successful players like T-Squared, and different guys who've had deals with companies that before you even knew that could be a thing. So did that for a long time, and always watched streams and got into 2K. I was always a basketball fan, so I was always playing 2K. Started taking it serious around 2K15 is when I really dove into it. Got into the Twitch world, got into the streaming world, gave it a try, and saw quick success with that, fell in love with that. And then before you knew it, there was a 2K league. And I'll be honest, like when I first heard about 2K league, I was like, yeah, I mean, come on, like NBA and 2K, like there's just no way. There had never been something like that you've ever heard about, where a professional league was going to be backing a video game. It just never heard of that. And at first I was like, there's just no way. And then actually it became a thing. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And actually, it's a funny story. If it wasn't for my chat, if it wasn't for my Twitch chat in 2K17 telling me, you got to try out, you got to just try it, I wouldn't have done it. And so they pushed me to do it. I did it. I got in the first year as a shooting guard. Had a great first season with Cavs Legion. Loved it there. Obviously, as you said before, went to Memphis, went to Orlando. So I've jumped around. I've been a little bit of a journeyman, and now I'm going into season 4, and we'll see what happens in the draft here in about 13 days.
Yeah, just to get a little bit in depth, let's talk about, you played for Cavs Legion, obviously in Cleveland, Ohio, then you played for the Grizz Gaming in Memphis, Tennessee, and then Magic Gaming in Orlando. Sound like you've been pretty well-rounded in your journey in the 2K League. Just talk about some of the differences in staying in Ohio, Tennessee, and Florida.
Yeah. So you're from Ohio, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's right. So I'm a Florida guy. So I'm a South Florida guy. And I like to say South Florida is its own state. We're like our own little place. I feel like there's nothing like South Florida. So when I first got drafted to Cleveland, it was a little bit of a culture shock. Kurt, I'm a guy who's never seen snow. You know what I mean? I'm a South Florida beach going kid. So I was a little damn, I'm going to Cleveland. This is going to be crazy. So it was a culture shock when I first got there. But once I got there, it was great. The people are so nice in Cleveland. It's such a sports rich place. I noticed everywhere I went in Cleveland, they were so passionate about everything that had to do with the Browns and the Cavs and the Indians. And they kind of rubbed that off to us. Once they kind of knew who we were, they gave us that same energy. All the local food spots we went to, all the staff, they were always asking us about, the league and pushing us and rooting us on. And that was super awesome. That's something I fell in love with Cleveland. Great team that we had first season. I personally like to say that was the best drafted team in season 1. We might not have had the best record, but when you look back at it, having a guy like Hood and then being able to get a guy like ToXsiK, and then you have a guy like Turn Up Defense, and then so many other guys, got a 2K. You got a guy, Hood arguably could have been an MVP if he didn't miss a couple games season 1. ToXsiK, obviously you see what he did last year with Toronto. Turn Up Defense won a championship. Got a 2K, has been a defensive monster in the 2K League, won Defensive Player of the Year. And then you throw me in there, and you also have Savage Work. It's one of those teams that, we had a great team season 1. Obviously didn't get to win a championship, but had a great experience there. And then from there went to Memphis. That one kind of blindsided me. I won't lie about it, Kurt. That's a team I never even interviewed with. So when the day came and I got drafted, I was like, I'm going where? I'm going to Memphis. I was like, oh, all right, well, I'm going to Memphis. So it was interesting. It was a little bit of a change too, but I grew a lot from season 1 to season 2. I grew a lot, and I kind of knew who I was going into that season. I knew who I had to be on that team. I came in as a leader. I came in as a person who those guys were looking up to, and those guys were trying to learn things from. So it was a great time. It was a short time in Memphis. Obviously, things didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but nothing but love for them. Love Lang Whitaker and the organization over there. And then got traded to Orlando with Jonah and everyone down there in Magic Gaming. And obviously that's my home state. So to be able to represent your home state, it's just a little bit of a different feel. It gets you up a little bit more. You want to win a little bit more. It adds a little bit more to the pot for you. So it was great in Orlando, though. I mean, I loved it too. Great organization, great people around there, great teammates. A lot of young talent with Reed and DT, and a lot of upside there. Obviously, we had a great season when I was there. The season when I got traded, and then obviously, with COVID and season 3, things were a little rough, but I think a lot of teams went through that. And, now I'm here going in for season 4, and we'll see where I land. Hopefully it's somewhere I can excel and just continue to grow. I mean, from season 1, I mean, you can even attest from probably joining when you joined, you've learned so much and grown so much from when you first joined to now. It's crazy to think the player I am now compared to the player I was when I first got in the league. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens season 4 and where I land.
Yeah, I think, man, it's one of those situations, don't matter if you're a GM, coach, player, everybody always has that. If that was me, or if I was in it, I'll be doing
Yeah.
I mean, and all that's fine. I have no knock to that or anything, but it's a difference between being on the outside and being on the inside.
Big difference.
So I'm with you. I mean, here I am going into my 3rd season, and I feel like light years different compared to when I first stepped into it. I mean, you can try to prepare yourself as much as you want and as much as you think you are ready. And then when everything started coming at you, it just, you just bear and grin and handle it, but it's not the same. Like, I mean, you start coming, things start coming at you from all different angles. And just, I enjoy, if anything, the learning process of everything. Like, I don't let it defeat me. Although I am someone, I think, and me and you have talked about this in the past, where I hate to fail. Like, I don't like to lose. I don't like to let anybody down. I like to give my best effort each and every time that I do something. So that's been, obviously, I think that's probably the roughest transition for anybody in the 2K league. It's like, you got players who are used to winning all the time. Now they've had a taste of defeat. Used to having some sort of success. Now they haven't been successful. So, I mean, I think it hits us all full circle. And I think how you bounce back from it is most important.
Absolutely.
Going forward, like you said, here you are, been in the league since its inception. What would it mean to you to return back to the 2K league for a fourth season?
Yeah, I mean, it would mean a lot. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, Kurt. Like, I was one of those guys who, like, I wasn't supposed to get in. You know what I mean? Like, people didn't know me like that season one. Like, everyone, who's ToXsiK? Like, who's this guy? Like, what's iBall? What's this? What's that? Like, and to be honest, like, I came in with a chip on my shoulder, and I didn't have a great statistical season. I don't shy away from that. Like, it's a fact. Like, I didn't, and I'm not going to be the type of guy who's like, oh, it's because of this or because of that. Like, it just didn't work out to where I was a guy who was scoring a lot of points on that team. But like, if you look at it, like you said before, like, it was adversity for me. It was something I didn't let it take me over. I didn't let it knock me down. I didn't let it keep me down. I came in, I picked up a whole new position. I grinded in the off season. Shout out to Keena and Kiss My Tims. Like, they gave me an opportunity at lockdown in the off season going into season 2, and I was able to prove myself at a high stage in retail. And I think that helped me a lot with my draft. And like I said, I'm not a guy that I feel like was supposed to get in, and now I've been in here for 3 years, and going on my 4th year. So it's one of those things I kind of compare to basketball in real life. I played college basketball, I played high school basketball. So it's like my coaches always tell me, like, when you don't love it anymore, like, you'll know when you're ready to throw your shoes up, And then for me, like, to take that metaphor, I'm not ready to hang the controller up. I'm not ready to throw the controller up. So as long as I have that fire in me to still want to compete, I'm gonna go for as long as I can. So to be able to get back in and continue to, still progress as a player and a person, and help an organization and help the league continue to grow, and it's a super important thing for me, man. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best.
Got you. Now, beyond you playing the game, you're one of the most noted streamers in the game. I want you to talk about, the highs and the lows, and what it's like, the life of a streamer.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a wild one. I can give you a little, like, example, like, and you probably know a little bit because Chalk, one of your players, like, you're close with him, and you're around him, and you see him. Like, once you kind of get that clout, like, it's a blessing, but it's a curse too. Like, everything is scrutinized. Everyone's always tweeting at you. Everyone always is sending you, certain things. So, like, that's the bad part about it. But I've had a lot of ups and downs. Like, I started off my streaming career off my Xbox and reading chat off my cell phone. Like, I started from nothing with it. But I love doing it. I love connecting with people. I love meeting new people that all had common interest and enjoyed 2K. And that's what I did. And, I've had a lot of highs and I've had a lot of lows. I've had times where I've averaged tons of viewers, and I've had times where I haven't. And that can get to you mentally, especially when you become a successful streamer and you see other guys maybe that started lower than you that are blowing up, and you're feeling like, what are you doing wrong? Like, why aren't you being as successful? And it's a mental test. Honestly, it is a mental test, especially, too, with like 2K, and if the game is fun or not. Like, you got to have fun doing, with what you're doing when you're streaming. If not, it becomes quote unquote a job. And like, I never started this as a job. I started it because I loved it. And when it turns into more of a job, it can become more of a stressful thing for you. So with me, it's just been to continue to stay focused and be myself, have fun, realize that there's going to be ups and downs. You're going to have good times and bad times on your stream. You're going to have great months. You're going to have slow months. It is what it is. And, I just try to do my best to be myself on stream. I think I tell a lot of people who are starting off streaming, especially league guys that I talk to and give advice to, a lot of my viewers, they care to know me as Brandon. They don't really care to know me as ToXsiK. It's great and all that, you're a professional player, I have all those accolades, but a lot of those guys, they like me, and a lot of those viewers come and watch me because I'm me. I'm genuine. They like to know me as who I am as a person outside of gaming, and we connect on that level. And I think it's important to build that relationship, with your viewers. So a lot of highs and lows in streaming, but that's like anything else in life. Like you said earlier, man, like if something knocks you down, you just keep going. And that's the same mindset I take with streaming and content.
Okay. What advice would you give to anyone who's looking to get into streaming?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like, first find your community. I think that's important. Like, do what you enjoy, find that community of games that you're playing. And then from there, be consistent. When I first started streaming, it was a daily routine for me. I wanted people to know that every single day or whatever it is, 5 days or 6 days out the week, ToXsiK's going to be on at this time. And like, when I did that, I built that schedule and that regimen. People started to catch on to it. And, you might start with 5 viewers, but then you go to 10, and then you get to 20, and it might be a slow grind. Like, there's no straight line to success with this. Some people might grow fast, and some people might grow in a year, 2 years, 3. You just never know with content. So the biggest advice I would get, like, have fun, be you, be consistent, switch things up, connect with your viewers. Like, if you have one viewer, man, show that one viewer as much attention as you can, and let them connect with you, and just build your community day by day, brick by brick. And then from there, it'll turn into something bigger.
Gotcha. Now to, iBall. Park, there's park clans, and then there's park clans. Like, I mean, obviously I'm more familiar with iBall because of our relationship, and you playing 2K, but just, let everybody know what is iBall and how did you start?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the first thing that people say when they hear about it is, oh, it's a 2K clan. And I've kind of progressed away from that. I like to call us more as a 2K organization. I first originally started in 2K17. This is when I was just strictly park. I played park with guys like, and it's funny because like these were guys I played with before the league, Perfusion and Bash. Those were a lot of the guys that I played park with back in the day. So we started a little group. We started a group called iBall. We wanted to have like a group that we could all rep and be in the park together. And that was it. Like, back then parks were a big thing. You had guys like Nadex who had TNB, you had, Annoying who always had Hun Nation. And like, you always looked up to those guys. Those were like the first streamers in 2K that like I watched, and I was like, man, I want to be like that, So I kind of piggybanked off them and wanted to start my own little group. And I started iBall in 2K17 with some friends. And at first it was just a park thing. And from there, every single year I've just continued to digress it and be adverse with it. One thing about me is like, and I take this approach with iBall and anything else I do, is like, I'm just never complacent. I always want to try to do more with it. And I started to realize that, with Pro-Am and the 2K League, there's a lot more fan bases out there besides just park. I started to transition away from park a little bit, and I went into more of the competitive side of 2K, and you saw us do more of like stage things and Pro-Am players and a lot of the more, highly talented sides of 2K when it came to that aspect. And from there, it's just grown and grown and grown. I've done it. I've done my due diligence, and, shout out to a lot of guys who are involved in it with me that helped me out. But I've done my due diligence to try to get guys who are not only the best players in the world. That's something I pride myself in, is having some of the most talented guys in the game, but guys who are also doing content. Because at the end of the day, like, if you have great players that aren't showcasing their skill, I mean, at the end of the day, what is that doing for you? So we're looking for guys who are, great personalities, guys that love what they're doing, that are good at the game, and are doing content. So that's a big thing for us. And, we're just trying to grow the brand and make it something like if you look around in the esports world, you see things like FaZe and Optic and all these other brands that are just huge. And, eventually my plan is to maybe try to have something like that within 2K with iBall. So obviously it's shooting for the stars, but, you got to have some high goals. So.
No, definitely, I can understand that. And just speaking, you just recently had a park clan Pro-Am tournament. I guess the battle of the clans, or
right.
Correct me and explain that event and tell me how that went.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, this is my first Pro-Am tournament. I've been a guy who's been pretty recognized for the tournaments I've hosted in the community. Pretty respected when it comes to doing those. And to be honest, like, when it comes to next gen, like, I personally love playing Pro Am on Action, and I enjoy watching it. So I thought, you know what, let's change it up a little bit. Let's try to do this and let's see how it works out. You know, we've had a lot of guys message us and like wanting to compete against us or wager against us. So I was like, let's throw something together. Let's make it a little tournament. Let's have fun with it. So we called it Clash of the Clans. And we had like 8 different clans, or actually we had like 11 different clans on the Xbox side. We're actually in the process of planning a PlayStation 5 side for those guys over there. So we're gonna do that soon. But it was great. It was super competitive. Unfortunately, we didn't come out and win it. But look, I tell my guys all the time, like, look, if we win, great. If we don't, I don't care. It's for fun. It's for the community. But it was awesome because I think we got to see a lot of guys who aren't as well are big named guys play on a big platform against some bigger names and really show out. You got clans like 4L that they won the tournament, and shout out to them. They had some great players. I mean, some of the best younger players in 2K, and they got to show their talents during this tournament. You know, Top 5 was another team that got second. They have a lot of good guys like Oreo and Fakey, who I think are going to get drafted for sure. And another young point guard they got named Benzo, who's a really good player. But it was great. It's always fun to compete against other guys in the community. It brings the community together. It's nice to see everyone in one stream, just enjoying fun content, competitive content. And that's what I love to do. I'm a competitive guy, and that's what we did. And, you know, we're looking to do more stuff like that in the future.
Okay. I mean, obviously with everything going on, I mean, you know, how was your off season, man? Would you know, you're in one of the best places to be when you want to consider to be off season. Like, you know, what did you do to you know, after the season that we had with the pandemic and everything like that? I mean, you know, how did you unwind and kick back and just relax down there in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, I know you can attest to this. It was needed after the season we had in the 2K League. I mean, it was a grind, and especially with the pandemic, everything shutting down. Like, my mental health was at a low at one point, you know, when it came to during the season and after the season. So be able to come home obviously was great. Unfortunately, you know, we're still dealing with the pandemic and everything. So we still got some limitations on what you can do. And obviously I'm back home living with parents and family. So I don't want to be too like crazy with what I'm doing. I try to still be pretty, you know, safe and not really be around too many people. But just being home is relaxing on its own, Kurt. You know, being able to wake up every morning and see your brothers and sisters and your mom and dad, and, you know, have family dinners on the weekends and stuff like that. And that's really what I've been doing, just quality time with family, seeing friends here and there, you know, getting back in the gym, playing basketball with some of my boys, and just taking some time away from 2K. But, you know, unfortunately for me, like, you know, as a content creator and all the other things I do, there is no real off season. So even when the 2K League is over, like it's a grind on something else. And you can attest to that with everything you do as well. So like, even when we're not playing the league, we're doing something else, and we're putting effort in somewhere else. So it's great, obviously, like I said, to be home and see family and see friends and just kind of unwind from the league and everything. But I mean, it goes quick, man. That 6 month off season goes quick. And like I said, like, what are we, 12 days away from the draft? And like, it feels like just a month ago I was in Orlando competing. So it goes fast, but it's been nice to be home.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, at this point of the show, as OG wants to know, it's rapid fire questions, answering open as honestly as possible. Biggest influence?
My dad.
What motivates you?
Success.
Okay. Favorite video game of all time?
Halo 2.
Okay. Favorite sports team?
Miami Heat.
Favorite athlete?
Dwayne Wade.
Favorite actor and actress?
Ooh, actress. What's the actress's name from Wonder Woman? The one who does Wonder Woman. You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
That okay. Well, whatever her name is, her. Because I just think she's gorgeous. But
hey, we'll
actor,
plug that on the YouTube.
Yeah,
the YouTube, I'll make sure
whoever she is, her. Actor, I love Denzel Washington. I just think he never misses.
Gotcha. Celebrity crush?
The Wonder Woman actress.
Okay. Hey, favorite movie of all time?
Remember the Titans.
Great. That's a good one. Favorite gaming console?
Xbox.
Okay. What would you be doing if you wasn't in the NBA 2K League?
Man, you know, obviously content would still be a focus of mine since I was doing that before the league. But I was in college finishing my degree. Like, you know, I would probably have went the normal the normal route, you know, finish college, get into a 9 to 5 and go from there. You know, I don't know how long that would last because I feel like I have that like the entrepreneurship DNA. So like, I don't know how long a 9 to 5 would have worked for me, but probably just, you know, grinding content and figuring out how to be successful somehow.
Okay. What's next for ToXsiK and iBall?
I mean, what's not, you know, that's like saying, man, what's next for OG King CURT? It's like everything, you know, it's like, I could sit there and write down so much things, but you know, for me, honestly, like in all honest seriousness, like my main focus, and I mean this wholeheartedly, like I want to see other guys be successful. It's important for me, and I say this all the time to the guys around me. I don't want to be the most successful guy in the group. I don't want to be the most known guy in the group. I don't want like, and I think that's important because having that pushes me to another level. I mean, I was always told growing up, like you are who you're around. If you hang around people who are successful, make money, like you're most likely going to be one of those people. If you hang around people who are doing dumb things and bums, and you're probably going to be one of those people as well. So I try to preach that to my guys. And honestly, seeing them succeed and just level up outside of just being 2K players. I mean, I think, you know, from being around 2K League, there's so much personality in 2K League when it comes to certain guys, and there's so much more that they can do besides just being a 2K player. So seeing those guys be successful and grow their individual brands ultimately will grow the iBall brand as a whole. So, you know, continuing to do that, continuing to push the brand within the community and get bigger and help guys grow their channels and their individual brands and everyone, you know, be successful.
Okay. And the name Gadot, or is Gadot.
That's her name.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but
me neither. And I mean, when you look that good, you don't. It doesn't matter. Just like, you probably don't even need a name.
No.
But yeah, I had to fact check that. You know, ToXsiK, as you know, let people know how they can follow you and iBall on all your social channels, Twitch, YouTube. Plug away.
Yeah, so my Twitch is pretty simple. As you guys see behind me, the name ToXsiK. That's where you'll find me on Twitch, ToXsiK. As Kurt was saying earlier in the stream, I also stream on Facebook. So pretty much all across the board, my social medias are going to be the same. You'll find me on Facebook as ToXsiK. You'll find me on Twitch as ToXsiK. You'll find me on Twitter as ToXsiK. And that's what I'm mainly going to be on. So, you know, anytime anyone wants to follow me or get in contact with me, Twitter is definitely the way to go. With the iBall page, we also have an iBall page that you guys can follow on Twitter. It's just at iBall Empire. So if anyone's interested in learning a little bit about iBall, what we do, certain content things we do, feel free to check the page out. You know, send us a message if you ever have questions about anything. We're always there to answer questions and help people out within the community and learn.
Okay, before we get out of here, how did you get the name ToXsiK? Because you're far from that. I mean,
yeah.
So how did you get that name?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I made the name when I was like 13 years old or like 14 years old. This is when I was in the Halo scene. And for whatever reason, like, I don't remember exactly what, but I think I was like looking through Google or like a dictionary at like words. And like, I seen the word toxic, and obviously it was spelled ToXiC. And I was like, man, that sounds pretty cool. I like that. But then I was like, you know what, let's mix it up a little bit. So what I did is I took toxic and the word sick, and I basically like kind of like formed them together. And from there, I mean, that was my Halo name. And I built a name in Halo. Like I said earlier, I played professional Halo 2 and Halo 3. So I was pretty well known in that community. And I just felt like it would have been tough for me to go away from that. So I always kept it, and here I am. But like you said, yeah, it's definitely not what I am as a person. I'm like the least toxic person that I think anyone in the community when it comes to that. But it's stuck with me ever since. So here I am.
Man, you know, as I knew it would be, great interview. Definitely enjoyed you coming on. Wish you nothing but the best in this upcoming 2K League draft. Keep doing your thing with iBall and putting pressure on the community to grow and be better than what it was yesterday. So I appreciate you, you know, on and off the game, and I wish you nothing but success.
I appreciate it, Kurt. It means a lot. Obviously, like, you know, guys like you have done a lot for the community. So it means a lot to hear that from you guys. And everyone that's listening to the podcast, make sure to check out Kurt. Make sure to drop him a sub, show him support. He's putting out great content, and we need that more in the community. So same to you, man. Like, you know, let's both keep raising the bar and setting the standard in the community. And hopefully we'll have guys in a couple of years now who are the next ToXsiK and OG King CURT in the community. So I appreciate you having me on.
All right, thanks for the kind words, definitely. For everybody following the OG2CENTS podcast, be sure you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow the OG2CENTS podcast on social media, the OG2CENTS podcast on Instagram and Facebook, OG2CENTS podcast on Twitter. You can follow myself on social media, OG King CURT. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Big shout out to my team, Strider Visuals, Cy Evermore, and Box Graphics for continuing to make the show what it is today. You can go to www.ogkingcurt.com for everything the OG2CENTS podcast and OG King CURT. You can catch me every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, EsportsXTRA from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. We'll host Larry Ridley, the crew, Kelly Wells Brinkley, Antonio Williams, Derwin Roel, and Kevin Mamuzet. That's EsportsXTRA on twitch.tv/compete forever. That's Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Like I said, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Check us out, putting the sports in esports. Remember to catch next week's episode. And remember, if it makes sense, it's an OG2CENTS. OG out.
Put this work in, fellas. And much, much, much love to the entire 2K community for always showing me love. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Yeah.